Hey everyone! Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. Welcome to Lyra's Redemption. My entire family was invited to my sister's $1.2 million wedding, but I was left off the guest list. Don't spoil her day, my mother hissed, her words draped in elegance but sharp as a blade. My father laughed lightly, saying, "You couldn't even afford a proper gift. Just stay home." I stayed quiet, nodded, even forced a smile. But my silence was a razor's edge. I'm AAR Winslow, 30 years old. Think you can guess how this story ends? Keep watching. What's the price of being invisible to the family that raised you? And who do you become when you stop craving their gaze? They booked a sprawling Napa Valley vineyard for my sister Savannah's wedding. White roses flown in from Ecuador, a private orchestra from Vienna, gold-rimmed plates everywhere, and not a single seat for me. I streamed the event from my modest one-bedroom apartment. Savannah spun in her $18,000 gown. Dad raised a glass to our shining star. Mom's tears were the loudest. No one spoke of their other daughter, the one who juggled two jobs to get through college, the one who sent Mom $900 when the mortgage was overdue, the one who wasn't pretty enough, compliant enough, or convenient enough for their spotlight. I shoved my laptop, booked a flight, and got married the next morning. Just me and James on a Paris bridge. We wore secondhand clothes and vows scribbled on napkins. Our photographer? A street artist with a vintage camera. One shot, one kiss, the Eiffel Tower glowing behind us like it was cheering for our defiance. I shared the photo online. No caption, no tags, no explanation. By midnight, it had 2.1 million views. By morning, a reporter called. By noon, Savannah's PR team emailed, "Hi, AAR, we'd like to address the story you're sharing." I didn't respond. I just scrolled through the comments. This is real love. A wedding that hits you right in the heart. Who is she? Just wait. One viral photo, and suddenly they remembered I existed. Savannah reposted my picture, captioning it, "So proud of my little sister finding love." Little sister? She's 4 months younger, but always treated me like a prop. The comments exploded. Didn't you leave her out of your wedding? Why wasn't she invited? Why does she seem like the favorite now? I stayed silent, but Savannah called, her voice soft as velvet. "Hey," she began. I said nothing. I had no clue you weren't invited. That was all Mom and Dad. I pleaded for you to be there. Her voice wavered, worthy of an award. "You know how they are," she murmured, as if she hadn't helped craft the guest list. Then Mom texted, "We're so proud, darling. Can we talk? And Dad, let's move forward. Family first." Family first? After they erased me from every call, photo, and guest list for 3 years. After they told distant relatives I was off exploring Europe while I worked 60-hour weeks to survive. James and I sat on our balcony, sipping espresso. He asked, "Do you want to talk to them?" I shook my head. Instead, I posted another photo, a Polaroid of our vows, inked with the words, "To those who show up, not just when it's easy." No hashtags, no names, just truth. The next morning, a wedding magazine called for a feature. That night, Savannah showed up at our Paris apartment, mascara streaking her face, clutching her designer bag like armor. "You have no idea what you've done," she said. "You've made me the villain on your wedding day." I stayed silent. James lingered in the kitchen, knowing this wasn't a dialogue, it was a show. "You weren't supposed to post that photo," she snapped. "Why not?" I replied calmly. "Because it proved I exist." Her eyes blazed. "Do you know how hard I work to be perfect?" "Mom and Dad demanded it." I tilted my head. "And I was the cost of your perfection." She looked away, her silence louder than any apology. "You're trending," she said bitterly. "The bride who ditched her family, an international icon." She smirked. "Enjoy it while it lasts." Before I could respond, her phone buzzed. Her face fell as she answered, then turned to me, voice tight. "They're cutting me off. Mom, Dad, the business, the house, everything. They say you made them look bad. Sponsors are pulling out. Guests are asking questions." I almost felt pity almost. But I said, "Funny, you said I wasn't family, but now it seems you're not either." She staggered back, as if struck, then stormed out. her heels clicking like a standing ovation. James poured me champagne. To silence, he toasted. I smiled, but I knew it wasn't over. Later, an email arrived. Exclusive interview request. The Paris bride who rejected her family. The morning show wanted my story. The world is listening, they wrote. Fame doesn't erase betrayal, but it lays it bare. At dawn, sunlight streamed through sheer curtains as I stared at the email. James leaned in the doorway, coffee in hand. Are you really going on live TV to tell it all? I nodded slowly. Not all of it, just enough. I didn't want vengeance. I wanted acknowledgement. Not for the likes, but to reclaim the me they buried under years of dismissal and silence. I replied, yes, I'll do it. But I'm not here to shame them. I'm here to speak for daughters who are always an afterthought. An hour later, my phone rang. A warm voice said, Savannah, this is Claire from the morning show. Your photo is stunning, but your story, it's bigger. It's a movement. I exhaled. It was never about going viral. It was about being forgotten. I think many women will connect with this, Claire whispered. We scheduled the interview for Friday. By Tuesday, the first article hit. Bride snubbed by family weds alone in Paris. Except I wasn't alone. I had James. I had truth. And I was building a new family, one that saw me. But not everyone stayed quiet. That night, James brought in an envelope with no return address. Inside, a photo of me at 12, crying in a schoolyard, scrawled with red ink, "This is who you are." James's face darkened. They're trying to rattle you. I smiled faintly. No, they're scared. When the world hears the quiet one, the loudest liars get exposed. Truth doesn't wait. It arrives when it's ready. In the studio's green room, I watched the anchor tease. Next, the woman whose solo Paris wedding broke the internet and her family. My hands shook, not from fear, but from clarity. Claire stepped in, head tilted with empathy. You sure about this? You can still choose silence. I met her gaze. They gave me silence for 30 years. I'm just giving it back with a voice. The stage lights blazed. The host leaned forward. Savannah, millions call you brave, but your family? They called me bitter, I finished. But bitterness is just grief left to fester. I told it all. How I was uninvited to my sister's wedding. How they laughed at my pain. How I married the man I love in Paris, alone. And how I chose to share my joy even without their applause. Claire's eyes glistened. Do you regret not inviting them? I paused. No, I regret waiting so long to see them for who they are. The interview aired that evening. My inbox flooded, not with hate, but with gratitude. Strangers wrote, you gave us words we couldn't find. One woman shared, my parents skipped my wedding too. I feel less invisible now. But the last message from an unknown number read, you ruined this family. We warned you. Now it's our turn. Attached was a photo of my Paris wedding dress, burned. James found me staring, pale. They're falling apart, he said. I whispered, no, they're seeing what they made. And I wasn't done. When silence ignites, the brightest revenge is truth. By morning, the story was everywhere. Headlines spun a modern fairy tale of betrayal. Black sheep bride redefines strength. Alone in Paris, never broken. $1.2 million wedding, no sister. Guess who shined? I scrolled, numb. It wasn't just viral, it was a mirror held to their faces. Then came a knock. James opened the door to my father, shoulders slumped, suit wrinkled, voice fragile. Savannah, please. Your mother's heart can't handle this. I stood still, arms crossed. Her heart or her image? He stepped closer. You've shamed us. Everyone's talking. Are you proud? No, I whispered. I'm free. Savannah appeared behind him, her beige coat pristine, lips tight like she still ruled the world. You created this chaos, she spat. For what? Online fame. No, I said. For truth. She smirked. You're still jealous. Always were. I leaned closer, unflinching. Maybe. But I didn't burn your dress. I didn't erase you from a guest list. And I didn't lie to save face. My father cut in, desperate. Enough. Delete the posts. Call it a misunderstanding. James stood beside me, steady. She's not deleting anything. My dad's hands shook. Do you know what this is doing to your mother's charity board? Her friends. I stopped him. You excluded me for years. I just excluded you publicly. They left. But before shutting the door, I said softly, "Oh, and the Paris photos? I sold the rights. Every view funds my daughter's future." Their eyes widened. That's how you protect family. By building their future, not their failures. I closed the door, not just on them, but on years of swallowing their disregard. Forgiveness is a page. Closure is the end. The days after were quiet, not the painful silence of being overlooked, but the strong silence of boundaries honored. No texts, no calls, just the faint ripple of their shame through shared contacts. James brought me tea one morning and asked, "Do you miss them?" I thought hard. "No," I said. "I miss who I thought they were." That weekend, a gold envelope arrived, heavy and perfumed like wealth. Inside, a letter in my mother's elegant script. "Dear Savannah, we regret how this unfolded. Your sister is still hurting, but we hope time heals. For the family's sake, step back from the spotlight. Your moment is bright, but reputation is delicate. Love, Mom and Dad." No apology. No, "We're sorry we erased you." Just another plea to stay small. I didn't reply. Instead, I framed the letter next to a photo of my daughter in her Paris flower crown. She asked that night, "Why don't we see Grandma and Grandpa?" I knelt beside her. Sometimes, people who should love you only know how to love themselves. She hugged me tightly. In that moment, I knew the family I wanted wasn't gone. It never existed. But the one I was creating with truth and freedom was real. And it was enough. Blood doesn't bind. Truth does. 3 months later, I stood in a serene Copenhagen gallery, my solo exhibit glowing with photos of Paris light, childhood shadows, and one centerpiece uninvited. It was James's photo of me outside the chapel, veiled dancing, eyes gentle but unbroken. No crowd, just peace. A journalist asked, "Is this about estrangement?" I smiled softly. "No, it's about clarity." That evening, as jazz played and guests drifted out, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "We didn't know you had this in you. Your sister wept for days. Maybe you've made your point. Come home." I stared at it, then deleted it. No response. I didn't need to prove my worth, my kindness, or my strength anymore. The love I gave was real. But now it had boundaries, and those who mocked my silence would never cross them again. As I tucked my daughter into bed, she whispered, "Was your wedding lonely?" I brushed her curls. "No," I said. "It had exactly the right people, the ones who show up, not just for the day, but for my life." She smiled, drifting off. Outside, the moon glowed through delicate clouds. For the first time in years, I felt no urge to look back. I wasn't the outcast, the burden, or the forgotten daughter. I was the woman who found freedom by locking them out. No revenge, no anger, just closed doors and a life they'd never touch.